X 10, one of your most captivating podcasts out there, with your host, Prometheus. What's good, good people, man. Listen, we had some technical difficulties. Thank y'all for being patient, and I'm still adding people to the show. Of course, we got a special situation today, man. I tell you, we're gonna do like a small mentorship. Got my young man in here. He gonna tell y'all who he is. I got 6 Slayers back in the building, and we also got this old dirty bastard, and I don't mean no Wu-Tang Clan member. We talking about the Wu-Tang old member. My man, gang, Sir, he said I'm Sugar Hill Gang. We got my man, Sir X-Men in the building. Sir X-Men, introduce yourself. Tell people who you are, where you been, what you been playing. Talk to me.
I'm Sir X-Man. Everybody pretty much knows me. Just hanging out with my buddy Lemon for a day. He gave me the bat signal, so I said I'm gonna come on in and hang out with my friend. That's it.
Listen, you can't
Everything else, everybody knows.
Came through in the clutch. Dudes got storms in their cities. Dudes got no internet. I don't know what the hell's going on around this country, man. It's getting crazy outside.
It's the world, bro.
You said you echoing.
What?
You said you echoing.
I'm echoing. That's what I was telling y'all.
Yeah, there's too much. We don't hear it, but it's in the feed. It's in the YouTube feed.
Yeah, there's 2 mics close together.
Yeah.
That always causes that.
Oh, you know what? That's what it is. Well, I'm sorry, people, but he's using his own microphone headset, and he's right next to me, so I might have to deal with that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I see it working, but I don't know how to turn it off.
One person is just gonna have to be able to mute themselves when they're not speaking between the both of y'all. That's the best y'all could do.
That is correct.
Well, I figured that, but that's a fact. Well, with that voice being said, we have the infamous return of my man, 6 Slayer, not on camera, player. Where you been? How you been? What you been doing?
Hey, man, I'm still in one piece, man. Out here walking my own path for a little bit, man. You know, seeing the sights and the sounds for myself. You know, getting to battles for myself. You know, and then you know, come back with that experience. You know, and it changes you. And you move different ways. So that's what's up.
They also hearing
in other words, you're trying to say keep pushing, huh?
Wait a minute, that echo should be gone because that was from Sir X-Men y'all was talking about.
I'm not echoing.
Yes, you are, because I had to do something on my end.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, I had to mute your NDR file.
It's all
Fastback
good,
has
man.
entered the building. Yo, listen, man, we're a little unorganized today, man. Goddamn technical issues is crazy. You might hear my voice a little bit in the background because there's two mics here. Pause. But now we have an illustrious guest. He's going to introduce himself. He will be a future game designer and developer. He's also one of my co-workers' sons, who is an awesome dog. My man Queen over there, but he's stretched out on the couch. I figured he ain't gonna make no guest head appearance. Pause. But he over there chilling. We gonna do a little introduction of who he is, what he's going to college for. He's getting ready to start this Sunday. He leaves tomorrow, right? Yes, he leaves tomorrow. He's going to start his journey into being somebody who might be playing in games. You can come in, Mr. Queen. Let's get it. This is his dad. Oh, he had to put on the cool hat. Definitely. Another light-skin situation going on here. A lot of yellow people on the podcast. Not you, Sir X, man. You like bronze caramel, but it's all right. We accept you. You're accepted around here. So, bro, let them know what you is. Let them know who you are and the school you're going to attend. And yeah, give them your. The floor is yours. Let's do it.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Robert Queen. I'm from Medford, Long Island. I'm going to Alfred State College. My official major name is interactive design. I will also be running track and field. And I grew up as an Xbox kid. I always loved games. So I figured, as I grew up, I explore different pathways and different jobs, obviously. And at one point, I settled on. I liked playing video games so much, and I liked how they were made. I figured that I would want to become myself, and here I am. So, thank you for your time.
Of course. Not to have you. The information. We'll have something in the chat. Feel free. Let's move on. Let's get it. I'll tell everybody. Podcast. Great big building. Shout out to Dragons Den podcast. Gentlemen. Shout out. Shout out to the big boys. Outside. Great big. The foundation. Facts. Now, I ask some before we get into this show. As you know, someone's gonna start drink with no man for a lot of dropping because you know something it on. But, bro, what made you again this forever?
I'd say my early games I really enjoyed was probably. I'd say my favorite game was Halo Reach. I had a friend that introduced me to a lot of games. Me and him used to play Halo a lot together. I grew up on a Wii, so I was playing a lot of Nintendo games. I was playing Mario Kart Coliseum. I got 3DS, so I was playing Mario Kart, stuff like that. And then I didn't really. The way I grew up, we didn't really systems they came out. So years back, I got Xbox Series X for Christmas, and that kind of brought me back as I playing decent games, new stuff, and as I played more, I was more interested in how the games themselves are made, and the part I'm going to is user interface and user experience. So I would like to, just design the parts that you really see in games and how you interact with the environment and menus, stuff like that. So it was kind of a mix of everything I grew up on that made me want to start making games. So, yeah.
Halo Reach is the game that got you back into gaming, and Series X got you back into gaming, right? So what are you currently playing now that keeps your focus?
So recently, I've been playing mostly Dead by Daylight. My range of games has definitely like evolved. I've been playing Dead by Daylight, Bronca Blade Point for Honor. I was playing some Forza for a while, UFC, definitely 2K for a while, and then you know because I just graduated high school, um, I found that my friends and I were losing less time to play games together, and I became more focused on single player games. But we were also playing Call of Duty Cold War together. So some shooters, mostly Dead by Daylight, fighting games, Dragon Ball. I'm a big anime fan, so I play Dragon Ball Fighters. I play Demon Slayer. I play. Um, I can't remember anything, but stuff like that.
All right. Being a developer, what would be your goal of the style of game like
So my sister and my sister is a computer science engineer. She graduated 2, 3 years ago, I want to say. Um, Me and her have heard a few conversations about actually creating a horror game together when I graduate. So I think that'll be a good starting point, probably a 2D indie horror game, because that would help me get a basis. So I'm mainly trying to do some 3D crazy thing. But yeah, 2D indie horror would be my first game that I would design on my own.
It's awesome, and it's good to have goals and aspirations. Now y'all got a quick character overview of who my man is, man. We will keep y'all updated on his progress in school and definitely when he starts working on games. So now we gonna move into these topics, man. We gonna get into this quick. What the hell? Sick. Let me see. Oh. I'm gonna have to be muting and unmute my mic because you got somebody in the studio and he right next to you. So you know it's a little crazy today. But welcome everybody, man. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I appreciate everybody for showing up, sharing this Saturday, and I definitely apologize for the tardiness, man. But you know when something is technical, it's just you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta figure it out. So we got it working, man. So it's good to have everybody here. We're gonna jump into these topics. Like I said, it's not a long show today. But I want to talk about Square Enix stocks have tanked since the release of Final Fantasy 16, man. I'm gonna go straight to you, Mr. Sick. Do you think with Final Fantasy not doing the numbers that they anticipated, even though we know the install base is nowhere near where the PlayStation 4 was for PS5, and it didn't release on PC, do you think Square is going to finally reach out to Xbox more than just what they did with Final Fantasy 14 just recently?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the one thing that people it slid under the radar until after the whole announcement with Final Fantasy 14 finally coming to Xbox was that there's a new CEO over there at Square Enix. That happened about a week or so before that. And I didn't see no word about that at all. I'm the type of dude to follow that. Most people in the chat, most people in the community would be aware of something like that if and when it happened. But that went silent until after the fact. So I'm thinking, a new CEO, new moves. But at the same time, a situation like, Final Fantasy 14 was always in the plans. This was something we discussed in the past more than once. That was always going to be a thing that was going to happen. But it's just the timing of the new CEO and this announcement. And I was seeing Square Enix ain't doing too well and hasn't been for a while, in my opinion, for a lot of the moves they're making for exclusivity, taking this money for Sony, Nintendo, other platforms, usually Nintendo, but mostly Sony, not usually Nintendo. Once in a while you see Nintendo with certain things, like Front Mission and whatnot, but then later come out, on PlayStation, Xbox, even PC. That was a mindset before. It seems to be a different mindset now, and none too soon, because it seems like they need it. Otherwise, if they continue on the path that they're on, Square Enix is going to be gone.
Facts. Touch on this, Sir X, man. People in the chat, let me know what y'all think about this whole debacle of Final Fantasy 16 with these numbers, stocks dropping, Huge dip. Sir X-Men, comment on this.
It comes an old saying, you reap what you sow. And you stayed under Sony's little wing for so long that it came back to bite you.
Facts.
And you were wondering what was going on. And you said, we need a new CEO to come and help us out and fix this situation. Your first fix should have been years ago, not letting Sony tell you what to do and be the boss of you because you're your own company. When they took all the Square Enix games off of Xbox, that was your money. You were making money on Xbox. And Sony didn't want you and pulled their power card to say stop that. So that's, believe it or not, that's around when Square Enix started getting worse financially because people on Xbox were buying your games. So it took a new CEO to change things around and start working with Microsoft. And correction, Final Fantasy 16 is not on PC yet. It is delayed.
Yeah,
It's only supposed to be on PlayStation.
He said it wasn't going to PC.
Yeah, for PlayStation, but he's going to change his mind now because he wants that money. So, but for Xbox, we're not going to see Final Fantasy 16 for quite a while. We're not going to see a lot of those previous games and the games that we used to have on Xbox for a while until they get under whatever contract they got with Sony. So it's just a slow work in progress. That's probably why he said next fall for Final Fantasy 14, because that is most likely when that contract is going to end and you will start seeing more of those games. I don't know about Final Fantasy 7. I don't care now. I really don't care now. It's way past time. But that could be the opening for the Final Fantasies coming back to us. And maybe go to Game Pass. Don't do that Game Pass thing, Lemon. I know you.
Oh, you mean that training?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, definitely doing that around here. I don't know what's wrong with you,
Oh
buddy.
my God. I knew that was
Best
coming.
deal in gaming, baby. Game Pass. No, we give it up around here. What's wrong with
But
you?
yeah, I
What's wrong
think the
with
new
you?
CEO, he came in and they probably told him, please make us some money so we don't go under. That's why they lost Crystal Dynamics and Idols. And that's why they closed down that other studio because they came out with Forsaken, because they thought it was a money cow. But actually now that game is making money now. People are realizing that's actually a better game than what they thought it was after you get past the first 4 or 5 hours of the game. So I know they realize that and they see an opening and they say, we got to do better. We got to make money. We don't want to be under Sony's wing. We don't want to be. They're not coming to Microsoft. Trust me, people. They're not coming to Microsoft. They still want to stay an independent company, but they're tired of being under one umbrella. And that's a good thing for everybody.
Facts. All right, being that you're a future developer, Mr. Rob, would you limit your game to a particular platform, or would you try to generate money for your game across the board or multiple consoles? Talk to me.
I mean, the easy answer would to be promote your game across multiple consoles to make the most money. There are multiple reasons I feel like that someone could limit the game to one platform. I don't think I would do that. Me personally, I would put my games on all platforms because as someone who didn't grow up playing on all the common systems, I should say, it was a bit of a nuisance that I would go to school and people playing PlayStation like, oh, have you played new Spider-Man? I'd be like, no, I don't have a PlayStation. Or maybe the other way around, where it's the games I had, Xbox, that was exclusive to Xbox, and my friends who had PlayStations wouldn't be able to do the same thing. You couldn't play together. So me personally, I wouldn't limit games to one platform.
Okay. Yes. That works. That works. Let's keep this moving, man. Yo, listen. Here we try to give advice. And as much as I like Linus Tech, I be listening to this guy. He's a very educated guy, but his media group, they have grown so large that when they say things and they do not give you the complete information, it can damage smaller companies, smaller games, smaller PC parts, and things of that nature. Gaming Nexus has went on a video, and he went out there on a rant and kind of exposed Linus and his media group, even though it's not Linus himself. And this is why I say you got to be careful when you go out there and support certain people, because they want to promote what they want to promote, and sometimes, you know, your opinion should be left out, right? So I'm gonna go to you, Sick. What did you think about this whole Gaming Nexus attack on Linus Tech and his whole media group? What did you think about that?
Well, first and foremost, we've spoken before on Gamers Nexus and how he presents stuff, right? It's about the facts and the knowledge, and to keep the personal opinions and biases out of the equation, right? In fact, he talks so much and so dense with information and so quickly. Previously on the show, to both of us, we've advised, sometimes if you're watching his videos, maybe you want to use the options in YouTube to slow down the video to catch what he's saying, especially if you're not adept with the concepts he's talking about at first, right? So he's definitely a man about the facts and about the information, right? And I don't think this was an attack or anything. It was just, once again, he's dropping his information out there. And of course, you can't drop information like that without knowing the impact it's gonna have. And thus they're competing, right? And he was mentioning how Linus has access to a tool like he can replace the video that he has up on YouTube in place. It keeps your likes, your views, everything, right? Linus has access to that, but Gamers Nexus does not. And Gamers Nexus is a very successful channel, that's for top tier channels, which is completely stupid, especially if you follow YouTube, if you follow a lot of YouTubers, even if you're not a YouTuber yourself, or you already know the situations that YouTubers have to go through when it comes to copyright claims from companies, who have no rights to the thing that they claim,
108 Dragons TV welcomes everyone.
Doing exactly what they need to do, you know what I'm saying? Situations that you would think would be black and white that are not so black and white in execution on YouTube side, things like that, right? And so it just goes to show, it's like Linus was able to do things a certain way that other people weren't, right? And so this whole situation popped off, and I don't know all the details about who's responsible. This is why they're getting an outside investigator, right? But at the same time, and then you have all this elements of cancel culture with this other person. Apparently he used to work there, doesn't work there anymore. So after Gamers Nexus, puts out his video, right? Now this person shows up with all these accusations about things and make the whole situation worse. And then, a lot of people are going to sit there and think, well, why didn't you say any of this stuff before? Why are you saying it now on a dogpiling situation? If the situation was so bad, why didn't you say things before? Well, indeed, this person has, but nobody is really paying attention to it that much. It's only now when stuff is happening, right, that it's really getting out there, and so it's all a big cluster F of stuff that's happening. When I first saw this, I was completely shocked. I'm like, really, bro? Here's a dude, when he had a chance to sell Linus Tech, his whole media little empire that he's built up for $100 million, and the reason he said he refused to do it was, the money isn't going to change his life. Like, he could already do whatever he wants. Money wise, he could buy whatever he wants. He could go wherever he wants. He could do whatever he wants with the money he already has now. To have an extra $100 million isn't going to change his life. He's the type of dude like that. I saw that as a positive thing, right? But then you have this situation. So it's a real messy situation. Hopefully, sooner than later, this gets resolved. But the one last thing I want to mention on this is something you kind of alluded to, where his tech tips, I feel, in recent months hasn't been the greatest in terms of their coverage. And I'll give you a perfect example. It's the ROG Ally, right? He put out his video a month before the system was even officially released, and that video is way out of date information wise.
Yep.
But it's the most viewed video on the device by far, millions of views. And if anybody watches that video, they're gonna get the wrong view of the device right?
That's a fact.
Because he's had so many updates and changes to address almost everything he said
Is
from
wrong.
launch day. And most of that stuff was resolved launch day, right?
Right.
And especially you consider the time it's already been out, they've done even more to improve it and all these other things, right? His video is completely out of date. He hasn't put out a video. He didn't put out an update video the day it came out, which was like a month later, you know? I feel while his heart is in the right place and he wants to do certain things as evidence as he didn't sell the company, you know, to get the bag, because he didn't need the bag ain't gonna change his life, right? And for with Framework, right? He's an investor in Framework, and he explained why he's doing it and how it affects him as a dude who reviews videos. You know, he wants to be unbiased. I get where he's coming from. He's trying to do the right thing, but in so doing, a lot of other problems have cropped up. Maybe he's grown too fast. You know, there's lots of issues you could talk about that, and especially if you're watching his videos the past couple of months, I would say I've had issues and that raw guideline situation is one example. But yeah, the whole big complicated situation, hopefully it's worked out really soon.
I guess I can go. So I watched Rich Review Tech when he was breaking it all down about the scandal with the employee, the female employee. And I was like, wow, I kind of knew stuff like this was happening when he started slowing down with his quality video. And Rich kind of broke it down how they've been treating a lot of their employees to push, because Canada got different rules than the United States as far as how they treat their workers. So he took advantage of that for a lot of their employees that, you know, behind the scenes that people never knew. You know, him and a lot of his other employees. And Rich broke it down totally, completely. You know, he read off what was going on, what the lady said that was going on with the company and the harassment and everything like that to the letter. And Rich was being a skeptic about it, and he was saying he believes a lot of the stuff she says, but he still doesn't trust what they say. You know, you can believe what people say because a lot of it was like to the point, and a lot of it felt like it was a little outrageous, you know. But from all the details that she was putting in her comments about it, and it was a lot. His video was like over 30 minutes explaining the situation. So I'm talking about, I know you just got back, I'm talking about Rich from Review Tech, Lemon. And
oh, you mean the weirdo?
The weirdo with
the one that eats cucumbers and plays with his nipples in front of a million people? Oh, that guy.
All right. Dude, we got a lot of weirdos on YouTube, so you know
super weird. That is super weird. All your 99% of your viewership is men. What are you selling? I'm just asking.
A lot of his stuff when he comes out, I do respect that he does stay to the facts about what he talks about.
Oh, that's not true either. Don't get me started. But we talking about Linus.
A lot of it. I didn't say everything. No, I'm not talking about Linus.
But that's what we talk about.
I'm talking about Rich from Review Tech.
I don't care.
No, you don't. Love you too, bro. But so I did more research into that, and I'm starting to believe that stuff that the woman was saying is actually a lot true. Because ever since Linus went to get somebody else in charge, he's kind of changed the way he acts. So it's like, oh, now I got somebody else in charge to handle all the stuff. So now I can bring other people in to handle the stuff that I do. So I don't think he was taking care of the company as he was over a year and a half ago. So I think a lot of that has gone to the employees. I've seen it in business too, where now the employees get all the pressure, and the person that's running it, not the CEO, but the person that's running it, is just losing and say, I ain't got to do nothing. I can just tell people what to do.
Be the boss.
Right.
I don't.
And I don't care.
Right.
You know.
Well, I'm gonna say something about Linus. I have a lot of respect for the guy. He done a lot for the YouTube platform. But this is what kills me. When something don't go his way, he'll say something derogatory. And I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to show you these. Right?
Uh-huh.
These sneakers was designed and made for a huge YouTuber named Marquise Brown. MKBH, 17.1 million followers. Let me tell you something. What I don't like is when y'all meet with people, they pretend to be on your team. As soon as you get an opportunity, you make a video about some sneaker. He's the first YouTuber to have his own sneaker, right? And yes, they were sent to me. Shout out to my man MKBH. But this is what's crazy. This was crazy. Linus goes out there and makes a video and disrespects these sneakers. Now let me show him again. These are dope. But I just want to say something. If you look at Linus Tech, does he look like the ideal person to talk about fashion?
No.
Let's be real here. Dude is a lame dressing dude. But the first thing you do is make a video when these sneakers come out and trying to destroy somebody else. And you try to do it with slick little words and he tippy-toed around it. But you are not the ideal person to follow that fashion look. Trust me. So your value and your opinion suck anyway because you can't dress. You don't even look good in the stuff you wearing, but you're going to crap on my man Marquise Brown's clothing line. Crazy. So I kind of got salty with that. You know what I'm saying? Bad enough. It's hard to be a black content creator, and it's very hard to be a black successful one. This dude is mad successful. First thing you do is make a video for views. Yes, he has 17 million people. Right.
Linus only got 5 million subscribers.
Come on, man. And the first thing you do is go out here. I've seen him in events with him. Oh, you buddy. But as soon as you got an opportunity to crap on this dude clothing line, this is what you did. Talk about them sneakers. And then we look at you. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't like stuff like that.
On that. Have you ever seen a black person on Linus's Tech Tip shows? I don't think I ever have.
I don't know. I ain't gonna say he's racist, but I know
I saw one guy.
He shouldn't be telling us what we should be wearing and style, and he ain't got no flavor. Corny.
It's tech. It's not fashion.
Right. He's making fashion videos all of a sudden. But we gonna move on, man. I think that dude.
I think he let power get to his head. That's what I think happened.
What's the website for the shoes?
Oh. So it's like, yeah, man. But we're gonna move on, man. We're gonna talk about some more clown movements happening in this industry. We're gonna go to you on this, Rob. Now you know what Metacritic is?
Who?
Metacritic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Now we're gonna talk about this Metacritic situation. We're gonna go over to the young gun over here. People have been creating accounts to review bomb Starfield. Now, I think this is quite pathetic, and I'm pretty sure you can find more things in your life and productively do something with yourself besides review bombing a game that you ain't gonna buy or don't have access to because you don't want to build a PC or buy an Xbox. So, Mr. Rob, talk to me. You're a future developer. Would you want people to go out there and do this to a game that you might develop? Talk to me. What do you think about these crazy people? Because you see the internet can be crazy.
So, I played my fair share of gacha games in the past. So, I'm gonna kind of tie in with my experiences from different types of games into this. That, especially on platforms such as Reddit, people complain so much about something that they either don't have or they haven't even tried. And you can really tie this into all aspects of life. Like, I used to hate on foods I never even tried. Why are you hating on a game that you've never even played or that you never will? Why are you hating on something that you've never experienced? So, I don't understand. I wouldn't want that happening to my games because it's kind of like, what did I do to you? Like, what, you didn't do anything to deserve this. You know, over the years, multiple games I've played, interacting with the communities behind them, they'll complain about things that just don't make sense. Or often you find times people complaining about, like I said, games they haven't played, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So people always gonna. That's my opinion.
Excellent. I just want to point this out. He 18 years old. He 18, and he just broke down something that you grown ass men out here is doing, and he 18 and no better. That shows you y'all need to get a life. You need to do something with yourself. Sick. Talk to me. What did you think about this whole review bombing setup that they getting ready to do this onslaught of this game that's going to be successful no matter what they talk about? Talk to me.
Well, you already know I ain't got no love for Metacritic, man. They're horrible at their job, right? At their chosen profession. Not only that, it's not even a good repository of reviews, right? You're supposed to be able to look back and see, what reviews were there for any given game in past history, right? From the professionals, and to see what the gamers, the common man think, right? And after all this time, this is not a new situation with Metacritic where people are putting up all these, these false, reviews, to ruin the rating of a game on Metacritic and its average and stuff. They've done nothing about this. Now there's people, out there making 1,000 sock accounts in advance, right? In advance and announcing it to the world for everybody to know that they're doing it. And not even hiding what they're doing, right? And so Metacritic is just a horrible website in and of itself because they've done almost nothing to address any of this, right? And then of course, these children that are out here doing this, with mentalities of a 3-year-old, I don't get it, bro. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? It's just. But at the same time, there's this saying, a bad press is good press. No, bro, this is all bad press because in the end, it's a lot of what, the Xbox fans are calling the Xbox tax, right? When it comes to these reviewers, right? Like it's going to lose some points, especially for a game that could, in my opinion, is already looking like it's going to be game of the generation, let alone game of the year, right? I think it has it over Tears of the Kingdom easily. Right? Easily. Baldur's Gate, dope game. Trust me, the first 2 games, hey, Lemon Nose, man, that's from back in the day. Particularly the second one, I think, was in the transition period between the big box games and like the smaller box games on PC. Remember when they started shrinking the box size of PC games? I think that was around the time of the second one, right? So this is an old school PC RPG with the Dungeons and Dragons license, which, by the way, the first 2 were made by BioWare. RIP to BioWare, right? The creators of Mass Effect and all of that. Okay, that's how far the lineage of this franchise goes, as far back as 1998, right? And so I'm not putting no shade on Baldur's Gate 3. It seems like an excellent game. I bought it for my brother. He's loving it. I really don't have the time for that. Starfield is right around the corner. Maybe I'll come back to it later on. But I'm thinking Starfield has the chance to be the game of the year, but that could be ruined because of the biases of people, right? They can't be objective with their reviews, and to see that, a lot of these so-called reviews that are posted up there are just really bad. We're going to talk about that on one of the other subjects, how even the press is out there, doing their shenanigans as always. So instead of everything being the way it's supposed to be, we got these bad actors out here, purposely trying to ruin everything. And we know what group that is because it's usually the same group.
You know who it is? It's them ponies running for the hills.
Exactly.
We know who they are.
Exactly. So I just don't want the potential of Starfield to be recognized as game of the year and game of the generation, like you would say Skyrim was for the 360 generation, right? People are still playing that game. There are a lot of people I know who don't play games at all, who don't play video games, who bought a 360 to play Skyrim and only ever played Skyrim. Forget Call of Duty and all of that stuff. There were people who did that for Skyrim alone, right? And this is Skyrim in space, right? A lot of people looking forward to this game. And all these PlayStation fans, they wanted to, because remember, when we first heard about this game, the word was, Sony was buying the exclusivity, and then it was going to be PlayStation exclusive.
Microsoft has won.
Salivating for it then, right? But now Microsoft owns ZeniMax and thus Bethesda. Now it's a different thing. Now they want to review bomb and all this other stuff. The only time I've ever, accepted a review bomb is when it's a political statement against the company, the publisher, whatever, for other things, that they're up to. It's a political statement, but not to to bash a good game or a game that's not even out yet for them to know if it's good or bad. Like you salivating, waiting to trash on the game because you dislike it for other reasons that are just complete BS, and so that's what I think on the situation. It's just unfortunate, bro.
Okay. Before I go to you, Sir X-Men, shout out to everybody that's putting up in the chat, man. Please hit that like button. It greatly helps the channel grow, man. Trust me. YouTube is different. But let me say this. I always go on different people's podcasts, and I always hear, what you think this Metacritic score is going to be? And I'd be like, I don't answer those questions. Why not? I said, because it means nothing. And obviously, we seeing people making accounts just to review bomb something. What I've been saying for years has been correct. It does not matter what Metacritic scores are because it can be manipulated by people who just don't have nothing else better to do. Obviously. So X-Men, let's get into this Metacritic situation because I can't stand Metacritic. But talk to me. What do you think about this whole review bomb stuff?
I'm gonna bring this point that only me and you can understand. Me and Lemon grew up in a generation with GamePro magazine, and I just had the other one, and
EGM.
Yeah, EGM, all of them, the magazines. And
both of y'all went to only gray bears who did that.
Well, I didn't know your age, man, so I had to double, do it right.
He had to go with the guaranteed age.
Right. GamePro magazine, Inside Gaming. We grew up in those generations. Nintendo magazine,
Nintendo Power.
Back then when PlayStation wasn't the way they now. PlayStation magazine where we got them disc lemons. Yeah. But the way things have changed now, it's like there aren't any good reviews anymore. Nobody can go to the back of the book and see the true reviews because these people played the game back then pretty much to the end and gave you the honest review with it. Remember that long ass 3-page list at the back of the book, Slim, for all the games that were out at that time? And they did this. They don't really feel the game. It's all about clicks now. Now. And most of it's all on YouTube. Are there any gaming magazines out there anymore to tell you the truth? Are there any more
digitally, but they don't tell the truth?
The X Plays and the Inside Gaming that was on G4 and all that, those were the real shows that told you the truth. And man, me and Lennon
Adam Sessler's the man.
Oh, and well, I don't know what's wrong with him now. He's got, rich review tech issues now.
But, he went definitely left. I don't know what happened.
Him and even Attack of the Show gave good game footage sometimes and stuff like that when they thought a game was really important and valuable. Right now, these people on YouTube, they're looking for clicks. They don't really value a game for what it is anymore. And then with this Metacritic stuff, excuse my French, Lemon, Metacritic is bullshit. Because it's based on people that don't even play a game and want to give a review for something. I don't even follow Metacritic. I listen to what people say they did, but I don't care. Like my buddy Xbox said, Meta who? I don't care. It's all about my opinion. And if my friend buys the game, I will listen to what they think about a game.
Facts.
Like when Lemon put a game up every now and then and gives his opinion, I will listen to Lemon before I will ever listen to an IGN or
That's a
anybody. Because he old school like me, so he respects the game for the gameplay. It ain't about the 4K 60, or if it's 1080 30 or 60. It's all about how the game plays and how it makes the game feel when you play it. That's the generation we grew up in. So until they get better with their reviews, IGN, Metacritic, and fix the problems that they have, I don't care. I listen to my friends and I listen to how they feel about the game. That's the most important thing. Metacritic is garbage. That's it.
Yeah, I piggyback off of that. I just want to say that I do agree, because even though I'm not that versed in Metacritic and stuff like that, I do see this behavior in the community and a bunch of other games, especially recently in Nintendo. Now I'm like, Nintendo games are made for like kids. How did the entire community turn into a bunch of whiners? I remember when
Facts.
when Pokemon Sword came out, and I was first playing it, I was like, "Oh, this game is pretty good." And there's people on the internet complaining about trees not looking how they should. I'm like, "This is a tree. It has nothing to do with you completing the game. It's literally one tree that doesn't look as good." And this happens like all across the board. And I think it's just amazing that you can ignore how good the game actually is for one aspect that's not even that big.
Yeah, those people like those people, what do you call them that review the graphics of the game and all this stuff and all this and all that, and they come up with I think it's a guy from London that reviews the game graphics and all that and the speed and it's running at 60 frames.
NX Gamer, I think you're talking about.
No, I'm talking
I'm sorry.
The guy from London that reviews games with the glasses and stuff like that all the time and talks about how the graphics look and compares consoles and all that stuff. You know, the graphic. Yeah, John Linneman's show. Yeah. I'm like, real gamers, I mean, real gamers really don't care. They really care about the gameplay and does the game run good. They don't care about the graphics, the 60, the 30, none of that. Real gamers just care about how the game plays and is it fun. That's a fact.
True indeed. Well, I'm gonna say this, man. Listen, like I've been telling people, you technically cannot review Starfield or Elder Scrolls or Skyrim because them games are so large, so big, and there's so many different things that you could do. And you learn, people still finding places in Skyrim right now, right? So how do you technically review the game?
Thanks, Abacat. He said Digital Foundry.
Digital who?
Digital Foundry. That's who Abacat told me it was. I forgot the name, but it is Digital.
I'm not going to even start on them dudes because Sick don't get mad. I'm not going to go there. But because they do their form of click stuff too and putting out stuff too quick and then got to regurgitate a video when they making mistakes, especially with the Xbox and PlayStation video comparisons on day one games. Tired of, won't y'all just wait? Linus messed up the whole Asus ROG Ally jumping out the window first. Jumping out the window. But anyway.
I'm going to give an example of what you're talking about right there. So you see how we were saying about the whole thing with Linus Tech Tips, right? Gamers Nexus was out there, and he just dropped the facts. And because he's respected in the community for doing only that and nothing else, with no bias and nothing, right? Mm-hmm. We can accept what he said and use that as a jumping off point to see what's going on, right? Right. Meanwhile, on this console side, we don't have nothing like that. So when any of these dudes, come out here and just says something wild like, Digital Foundry or whoever, right? There's nobody really out there to check.
To combat them, right?
To check them that got that validity that everybody unilaterally really, no matter what platform you tap for, will sit there and say, okay, that if he's saying it, we believe it because everybody knows to trust X guy, right?
Right.
That person doesn't exist in the community like that because everybody out here got their biases looking to do, for their own benefit. Nobody's out here for just the facts and the truth of the matter. And
some people just need their ego stroked for the platform that they support.
Digital Foundry is also the reason why PlayStation consoles bumped up so much for the PS4 because he would always review it higher on the PS4. When there are some games that looked, especially when the Xbox One X came out, he would always knock it for something just to keep the PlayStation people happy.
And I'm gonna say this too. People don't like facts. They like drama. They like controversy. Yes. Every shows we watch, it's drama. The news, they don't never tell you when somebody saved somebody or they selling Girl Scout cookies. They always showing you the deepest, darkest, whatever, because drama sells. So, I've seen people make a video on YouTube. This is why you don't buy the Asus ROG Ally. Everybody's gonna click on that. This is why you're not supposed to have a Series X or PlayStation. People click on it. It's just what we deal with. But let's talk about this media bias. IGN just released a list of games dropping This holiday season's on must-get titles. Boy, I'm going to go to you, Sir X-Men. They left out Microsoft games. Now, we all know what Starfield's about to do, and we do know the biggest racer in the world is dropping in October. Now, they do strategic things in the media space to market and move in the shadows, but sometimes you expose the bias blatantly. Now, Sir X-Men, how did they leave off Xbox games this holiday season off this list on games to play and get? Talk to me.
I'm gonna say something. I've been saying that for years with IGN. It's nothing new to me. I'm like, where's Xbox? It's coming to Xbox. It was until these games like Eliza P and some of these other games they were showing where people actually finally noticed, even though it's been there for years. So I'm glad it's open in the light, and I'm glad you got ripped for it. Sorry that somebody made you get butthurt because they commentated on it. You know, and you had to slash back with negative connotations about what you thought about what this guy said. But you bring this stuff on yourself. Sure, you re-put out one that says Xbox on it now.
Right.
Right. But it's too late for that. Your damage
You've been exposed.
is already done. You know, and I really wish Microsoft didn't give IGN a key to Starfield. I really wish they had said no. You know, but
they didn't give one to Refraud Gaming. They didn't give him one.
I heard about that. He got
salty. I wonder why.
I wonder why.
He was blacklisted a few years ago because he gave a review really super early. That's why he's not on there anymore. But
listen, you can't play one side of the coin and then when it works out for you, you flip.
Well, if I'm gonna listen to a review, it's not gonna be IGN. I'm gonna wait for Dustin.
Yeah, they different.
A review.
They different.
You know,
I'm not even listening. First of all, I keep telling people I don't listen to these people reviews because I got more gaming experience than 99% of them. That's a fact.
I got the game downloaded already. The minute they heard that, real quick. The minute they heard that we could pre-download Starfield already, they got salty.
Yeah, facts.
I was like, "What? Oh yeah," and I downloaded it on my PC already, and people were sending snapshots of them downloading Starfield on their preferable systems, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I was like, "I'm turning Twitter off. I ain't listening to none of it. Anybody says we downloading Starfield, we got load Starfield, we talking." I stopped listening to all of it. If it pops up, I move on to the next thing I'm interested in on YouTube. You know, it's just I can't take this crap no more. Me and you didn't grow up like that.
Nah, they're ridiculous. That's why that block button is effective on Twitter. I'm like the Kimbe Mutombo of Twitter, blocking all that.
I need to ask the young man something.
Go ahead.
When with your friends, if they got a PlayStation or an Xbox, do y'all have a problem with playing on each other's consoles every now and then?
No, I mean, no, not at all.
See
Because,
that? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously, like I said before, my friends and I grew up having different consoles. So playing on another person's consoles was like, whoa, new experience. No one ever had a problem with it. So that's just how it was.
Yeah, my son's like that with his friend. My son's like that with his friend. It's just these toxic people that are causing all this problem.
Only on Twitter. Only on Twitter.
And on YouTube. You can't forget YouTube too.
True. Talk to me about this debacle that we know that was intentional.
Oh, well, yo, you know my opinion on IGN, and it's been like that for a minute. And it's not just IGN, the gaming press as a whole, right? Because I'm going to give you a different example. You remember just around the time when we heard that Microsoft was looking to buy Activision, all of a sudden, what's his name with the funny name, the real journalist who came out and he broke the news about how, there's all this stuff happening with Activision, and all the stuff that's going against women. Jason Schreier, all of a sudden he wants to put this information out. And he's a good journalist in terms of having gotten that information and putting it out there and stuff, right? It's not the first time he's done work like this. But the fact that he held that up until this point, right? Is sus, right? And we know him, and he used to be formerly at Kotaku. I don't think he's there anymore, right? And Kotaku is another outlet, right? That's just bad. IGN, bad. See, they're just out there for themselves, and they don't put the facts out there. They put whatever is going to get them clicks and whoever is paying them, right? So it's not about like, you know, good reviews or information at all. It's never been about that with them, or at least hasn't been for a long, long time. This is why I always say, man, I generally don't really mess with IGN. I might watch a couple of their video reviews right here and there, but I don't come to them for news or nothing like that. I just want the facts, and I'll decide what I think about the situation for myself, because I already know not to trust them. Not even that, I can't even trust them for the facts anymore. Like, I'll get the general outline of what's going on and then go look elsewhere. The fact that we're seeing this with these trailers and whatnot that they're showing off, right, when they're doing a compilation of whatever video they were doing, and they don't mention Xbox, and then, you know, Liza P, perfect example. A lot of people try to downplay that point, but everybody knows that game is coming to Game Pass. So to show it off as not even being on Xbox, that's just like ridiculous, you know? Like, everybody already knows this is a game a lot of people is anticipating, and it's on Game Pass, but you don't even mention it's on the Xbox platform, but you mention PlayStation, right? Like, we know your biases. We know certain people who have been there don't work there anymore, like Colin Moriarty, other folks like that. Bro, we already know the names and who's sus there, right? You look at Destin Legary, who a dude that I know is not as bad as some of his colleagues over there at IGN, right? Like, he's the one who says he's responsible for that and it's his fault or whatever. But, like, I remember him when he was on Screw Attack, right? On game trailers, right? Way back when he was just a young kid. Like, he was pro Xbox, but it was out there because Screw Attack was more independent, right? You know, so they were out there doing their own thing, and towards the end of that was when he joined up with them. Then years later, we see him with IGN, and all of a sudden we see the way he do stuff is different. But at the same time, like, he's trying to do his own independent thing. He has his own thing on the side, and you kind of see he's kind of wishy-washy. Sometimes he's keeping it real. Sometimes he's not completely keeping it real, but he's not, you know, as bad as a Colin Moriarty when it comes to things. And so it's kind of iffy. It just goes to show, as long as he's dealing with IGN, you're not going to get the true, real deal.
Well,
truth out of him.
I think Dustin over there, just like with not Review Tech, Linus, he had to go to what the corporate people wanted because
exactly
they were paying him with a job, and he had to follow the letter of the law. We gotta do PlayStation stuff more and promote them out. I think that's why Dustin went out on his own to do his own thing. They can't say nothing about that. So he wanted to be free from corporate. He wanted to be free from the corporate to fly where he likes to talk about.
Right.
You know, and he, you know, to get paid, you got to do what the bosses say. I mean,
that's why exactly I bring him up, because like, you see when he's honest and you see when he's kind of not, and it's when he's on his own doing his own thing, or if he, you know, when he first got in this industry, when he was with an independent outfit like Screw Attack, you could tell he was clear and honest. Now he's with IGN. You can't always trust what he has to say, and you know when to trust and when to not. If he's doing his own thing on his own channel, you could take that as his personal belief, and you know it's genuine and true. Except if it's under the IGN umbrella, you know it's coming with some, you know, biases that it probably isn't him, but he's got to toe the corporate line for the dudes who's paying his paycheck, or who signed his paycheck.
Right. All right, we're gonna move into the last two topics, man. Let's talk about this Modern Warfare 3. I got a question for everybody on the panel. Got a question for the people in the chat. Shout out to every 50 plus people up in here. Shout out to y'all for pulling up, giving us your time on a Saturday evening. Modern Warfare 3 is dropping. They have this carry your content over from Modern Warfare into Modern Warfare 3. This is the first time they're doing it, and I know they're doing it because they're using one engine across all the games now. Thank God they're doing that. But it has a price tag of $70. That's one thing. I want to know about that, what y'all feel about that on the panel. in the chat. Let me know what y'all think. If this is a $70 DLC or is it a whole new game? Because a lot of stuff is carrying over from the previous Call of Duty, which I love, by the way. I think it's absolutely awesome.
I'm about to make you lose your mind on this one.
And they're bringing back zombies in kind of like the DMZ mode, which I think is awesome. But they also got a $100 package. So now, is this a $70 DLC? I'm gonna go to you, Sir X-Men. And did you like the new news of carrying forward your characters? Because I was pissed off when I bought Rambo. You know what I'm saying? My man Bruce Willis, and then you got to do it all over again because the game comes out. Right, the game comes out, you know, every goddamn year. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of happy about the carry forward. But do you think this is an expensive DLC add-on, or do you think this is a whole game and they're just gonna move forward because they're using the same engine? Talk to me.
You know what? It's Call of Duty. People don't care. They don't care, dude, about the price. It's Call of Duty. Now, here's the niche that I don't know if you knew this, but the people that are still on the PlayStation 4, it is PlayStation 4. You have to buy a separate version from the PS5. So if you finally upgrade to the PS5, you have to buy the game all over again. Now, my question is, so what?
Whoa, that's a little different.
Buy one disc, and you can play it on the.
So you're trying to tell me it's not it's backwards compatible, but you won't be playing the current version
on the PS5 when you upgrade finally to get a PS5.
That's crazy.
So you have to buy a new Call of Duty for $70.
That's crazy.
I know, and it messed up. And Xbox, when you see the box, it says Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S.
Now, I got another question for you. Will this be the first published Microsoft-owned Call of Duty? Chat, help us out. Will it say Microsoft Game Studios for this Call of Duty, or do we have to wait for the next? Because I know that's kind of spicy.
Microsoft has won.
They actually get a chance to double dip legally for people that are gonna get a PlayStation 5 when they upgrade, right? And then they're gonna realize I gotta buy Call of Duty again.
My boy Steve Biko says, shout out to Smart Delivery.
Right. Facts. Good
Man, I
choice.
thought you would have knew that one, Lemon. I thought you would have
Good answer.
No, I'm asking a different question. I said, will this Call of Duty say Microsoft Game Studios? Will it? That is up in the air. That's a good question.
It's cutting it close.
It's cutting it close, right?
It depends on when the deal is 100% signed. Everything depends. That's why they pushed the date to November. Now, if all the deal is set by...
No, it's October, brother.
Oh, the game comes out in October?
Yeah, the game is October.
I thought the game was November.
No, the game is November, but I'm talking about the deal got pushed back to October for the final word with the CMA.
Yeah, I saw that mess. I saw that whole thing, and I was like, what the fuck?
Like your mouth.
Sorry about that. But even if it's done in October, 100%.
So you going with a yes?
November, it's going to be yes. Microsoft is going to double dip on Sony. They're going to double dip because people going to be getting their PS5s in the holiday season, and they're going to have Call of Duty already.
I don't know if PS5 going to do that well. Starfield's people been trading in their consoles. They be talking crazy on Twitter, but they be trading them consoles. They believe playing it on PC is a different ballgame when you got to build a PC to match these consoles.
And here's one thing on that real quick, Lemon. People don't know. Even if you buy it on Steam or use the Xbox, you're still going to have the same Microsoft Cloud save. So if you do get it on Game Pass over on the Xbox, you'll still be able to play the game that you played on Steam.
I'm going to play it on my PC anyway. My Asus ROG Ally when I'm at work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But Rob, talk to me. Do you think that the new Modern Warfare is DLC for $70, or is it a whole new game?
I'm gonna go a DLC. I would not put it past them to make a DLC $70. I mean, I think we've all seen the money. I don't see money grabbing, but the tactics that companies have used to get the most out of their games, whether it be releasing a new game for a dumb amount of money or releasing a DLC for a dumb amount of money. So I think it's gonna be $70 DLC. There's not much else to say.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at clowns, man.
No, but that's right or wrong answer. I mean, he's right. I mean, I don't know what it is, and I'm a Call of Duty head, but I'm gonna buy the $100.
And all you gotta do is buy it for one place, Lemon. You ain't gotta buy it.
Yeah, right.
Yo, the problem with this.
And will this be the first game published by Microsoft Game Studio? What clown are you talking about?
Okay, let me ask question number 2 first, because that's way simpler. It's cutting it down by the wire, but technically it should be just in time, right? Because this thing is supposed to be handled in October. The game comes out in November. So technically it should be on the Microsoft's just in time, right? Okay. Just in the wire. So just under the wire, right? Yes. Just in time, right? Like just barely do. Like they just barely making it, right? But yes, right? So is it a DLC? Well, it depends on what you consider a DLC, right? Because let's think about it. This is the last game of the contract with Sony. This is the end of the Modern Warfare franchise, of this remake franchise, or whatever you want to call it, like redone franchise that started with the 2019, right? It's the same engine, right? It's all these things. So it is, but it isn't, but it mostly is, right? Because besides the sale of Activision, all this other stuff, right? This is the first time where they do a direct sequel the next year. Usually, especially early on, it was 2 games that would alternate to give the other game, extra year development. Eventually it became 3 games, right? To give them 3 years of development, and they would, alternate between them, right? This game, though, it seems like it was all hands on deck, like they weren't working on the other 2 games. They put all their chips into this one to get this one done for whatever reason, with the end of the contract with Sony, with the Microsoft buyout happening, right? So if those things did not happen, it would have been a DLC anyway, because it mainly would have been the single player plus the zombies and all that other stuff, but then the multiplayer carries over. So if you didn't buy 3 because you didn't care about the single player or the zombies, you're still playing the multiplayer with everybody else because the same maps and everything. They're still coming out with new content, right? And yeah, they're packaging in that with, with this new one, Modern Warfare 3. But still, if you had the second one, you'd be able to buy it, all that stuff. It seems to me that was always a part of the plan. So effectively, in my opinion, yeah, it's a DLC, but not because of like the traditional, like they being greedy and they just want their money. Although that's a factor too. I'm not saying it's not, but it's because this is a game that's back to back. They've never done that in a long. Well, they haven't done that since before the Modern Warfare games were even a thing.
Right.
The first 3 Call of Duties were World War II, right? Back to back to back, right? But even then, Treyarch, I think, did the 3rd one, to give Infinity Ward, time to
breathe.
Modern Warfare 1, right? Because they did the second one at the launch of the 360, right? And so Treyarch did 3, and meanwhile, the whole time they were working on 3, Infinity Ward was working on what we know as Modern Warfare, the classic that it was. So there's a lot of all that other stuff. But basically, yes, it's a DLC mostly, and it would have just been like the single player because the multiplayer continues on with all the content and everything else. So yeah, it is. But if you're an Xbox fan, hey, just in time for it to be in Game Pass and don't cost you a dime anyways. So what the hell do you care? If it's on Xbox, why do you care? What does it matter? As long as it has everything it's supposed to
So
have.
you think Call of Duty gonna be in Game Pass too, huh? My boy Sick is crazy today.
I think it might be on Game Pass no matter what they say. It's gonna be on the other platforms, but it's gonna be on Game Pass because it'll be just in time for it to happen.
Ooh, wow. You cutting it close, boy. Dangerous. All right. We're gonna start with our illustrious guests. What's the big games you're looking forward to this holiday season?
Well, that's a good question. I can't say that I've looked much into it. But I'm kind of been focused focusing on my beginning of my college experience. Um, I'm looking. I will say that I'm looking forward to what they can put out. Like, I was with my friends on Xbox the other day, and we were just looking through Game Pass, looking at the new stuff that's releasing, new stuff that's coming off, new stuff that's getting out. Um, and we found a lot of good single player indie games. So I will say that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not gonna name the titles because, like I said, I haven't dived into it fully yet. But we did find a few, like, I want to say hidden gems. I want to say. So I'm see what they can put out there. Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Sick. Talk. What are you looking forward to?
Oh well, mainly I'm looking forward to Starfield. That's gonna be the game that can last me the rest of the year. I haven't even beaten Modern Warfare 2, right? Because I'm not into the multiplayer as much anymore when it comes to these shoot 'em up games. I've done all that blood away. Like, I'm not really feeling competitive right now. I'm in my single player selfish experience type, beat, right? So I'm definitely looking for Modern Warfare 3 because I want to see where the story goes with that and the differences, from the classic series and how they change things up, right? I'm actually interested in the plot, right? So there's Starfield, and there's just a lot of smaller games, indie games, stuff like that. Oh, and then of course Forza. I'm waiting for Forza. That's the other big game for the year for me. So it's mainly those three, and then lots of little indies here and there all over the place.
Okay. So X-Man, I know you're looking for that bingo game, so you ain't gotta go to the church no more. Or that Bidwist classic game. I'm sorry,
How
X.
about that new
I didn't pick
Spades
with you
game?
all day.
That's what I'm looking for. The new Spades game. That's what I'm looking for.
Yo, I wish they did make a new Spades game because the other one be having like 2 people on it.
I know, right? Hey, I'll play Spades with you sometime, dude. Just let me know.
Yeah, but
That's a shame that's not popular like Uno was. You remember on the 360 with the camera? That's
Yeah,
I know, on the 360, Spades was popular.
Remember Uno After
It
Dark?
was Spades.
Boy.
We play Spades all the time.
You know what I'm talking about? Uno After Dark.
No,
Yeah,
we do not want to talk about Uno After
Oh,
Dark.
that's
Yeah,
when
we
they
took that
changed
behind
the
the
camera.
scenes.
That's what they said you
We
could
did not
use the
talk
camera.
about that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
we
sure
know
everybody
what
in the chat know what the hell that is.
But
Boy,
no,
you saw some crazy stuff.
Let me know
They're
it's
X-Men.
Forza. It's Forza. I'm not really, I'll play Starfield, but it's Forza. And I know it's far out. Next year's Test Drive Unlimited. Those are the ones
You just
I'm
had to
looking
get that
for.
off your chest, huh?
Yeah, I had to bring up Test Drive, dude. I know like Test Drive. I love Test Drive Unlimited. Man. So yeah. And that, and definitely Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, I'm playing it now. I was playing it today.
How you playing more? Oh, you
Yo, come on, man. Come on.
You got friends.
Thank
that
you,
low-
doggy.
He got
Doggy
friends that
Dog
low-
hooked me up. Thank you, Doggy. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, my boy Doggy. And he hooked me up with the collectors because I was in tears. I didn't get a chance to get it. So
Doggy
people,
Dog.
that will be the end of the show. We're going to get into our outros. We are going to go to our future young developer over here. Tell them what you got going on besides going to school, or you want to regurgitate it to the new people that came in. He's a future developer, and y'all going to be playing his games in the future, and he going to put on all platforms, so he ain't going to leave you suckers out who only got one console. Rob, talk to the people. You was an excellent guest, too. Excellent.
What should I guess I'll say that. I just want to say that my experience, playing different types of games growing up was varied. Like I said, I went from different systems like the Wii and the Xbox and the 3DS and stuff like that, and kind of looking at how games have grown over time. I don't want to. My goal is not to remake anything that's already been done, which is hard because there's been so many games that came out over the years. Sometimes it does feel like, wow, every idea has been taken. But there's like stupid ideas that popped into my head from day one. Like from the first day, I asked myself, how did these things be made? From when my mom, took me to the store when I was a child. And the first game I imagined was a racing game, but you're in the back of a shopping cart. These things have been in my mind ever since. So my goal, like I said, is to make something that hasn't already been done. But also, I'd say among my generation, there's been a joke with EA and the fact that you can pay for anything that's not the main menu. That's another one of my goals. Yeah, to make a game where you can play it. Maybe it's obviously not going to be a free game, but you can play it without having to spend your wallet on the rest of the game. And that's how I feel about a lot of things.
No microtransactions.
I don't think so. I don't. I've never been a fan of microtransactions, whether you're on the receiving end or the paying end. It's just never been my thing. In any type of media. So I think, as long as I don't get sucked into the position that I feel like a lot of people get sucked into, like how we were discussing earlier, about you get tied into a big company and now you're coerced to make people pay for more things, or you're coerced to, lie in public. And I just hope that, I know I'm not going to let myself get sucked into that. I want to make games that are, fair for everybody to play. So that's my.
Okay, if you ever go work for EA, and you get a little pull up in there, tell them remaster Burnout 3 Takedown for me, please. Because I want that game back for the next gen.
So, X-Men, that being said, man, where can we find you, man? Thanks for coming up.
I always got you if you ever needed me. You knew that. But you can catch me on, I guess, K Mega Show. I'll be moving to Chicago and reorganizing stuff. So I probably won't be in these streets for quite a while until I get reorganized with my situation. But other than that, y'all can catch me hanging around where y'all know I hang around.
Okay. Fight Night Sunday?
K Mega don't hardly do Fight Night Sunday anymore. He do it once in a blue moon. He's sparse like my buddy Xbox with his show.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Sick, where can they find you, man?
Hey, bro. No doubt. Ain't nothing changed, bro. 6A on everything minus the Nintendo platform. Come check me.
All right, moving show. Y'all pulled up Starfield technical difficulties. I don't know if OBS, my PC, and then you timed out, didn't kick back on. I don't know, man, but I will be ordering to get in the month.
Technology, I mean, it's technology. It ain't perfect.
Yo, listen, our good stuff, because I got a responsibility to this community. And out for my Samsung Galaxy 6 Classic 47mm review. To be doing that video dropping Tuesday. And also, I got an e-bike channel, Cargo Back. Nice. Coming this Tuesday. I'll be doing an unboxing, a review on that also. We got some good stuff. Of course, as the holiday season picks back up, we'll be doing way more content because it's about to get hot, fire, and saucy around here. And if you got that Game Pass, you're going to be eating lovely for 2 straight months. 3. Lots of P. And if you listen to Six Slayer, you might have a November in there too with Call of Duty. God damn. Well, peace out, everybody. Great show. Rob, you're an excellent guest. I wish you much success in all your endeavors. And hopefully we'll be playing your games and bragging about your release dates very soon. Pay attention, y'all. I saw him here first, you heard? Respect the young gunner out here doing the Lord's work. See y'all next week, next Saturday. Peace out, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.
Peace.
A good one.